Welcome to channel Legacy Coins USA, where every coin tells a story. Today we're diving deep into 5 iconic Elizabeth II Australian dates that shaped numismatic history. 1966, the birth of decimal currency and the legendary round 10 cent. 1983, the final year of the Mackin portrait, a classic transition piece. 1989, the elusive 10 cent with striking scarcity. 1994, the year Australia honored its heritage with stunning commemorative designs. And 1999, the dawn of the new millennium with the rare Federation 50 cent. From copper-nickel classics to modern rarities, these dates built empires. Subscribe now, join the hunt, and discover why Legacy Coins USA is where serious collectors strike gold. Let's get started. The introduction of decimal currency to Australia on February 14, 1966, marked one of the most significant monetary transformations in the nation's history, and the 10-cent coin emerged as a cornerstone of this revolutionary change, replacing the pre-decimal shilling that had served Australians for generations. This transition, affectionately dubbed C-Day or Conversion Day, represented the culmination of decades of contemplation and planning that had begun as early as 1901 when the Decimal Currency Select Committee first considered abandoning the cumbersome imperial system of pounds, shillings, and pence in favor of a more practical decimal framework. The complexity of the old system, with its 12 pence to a shilling and 20 shillings to a pound, had long frustrated merchants, bankers, and everyday citizens who struggled with the mental arithmetic required for even simple transactions, and research conducted in the late 1950s demonstrated that decimalisation would save the Australian economy more than £11 million annually through increased efficiency and reduced calculation errors. The Royal Australian Mint, constructed specifically to produce the new decimal coinage, opened its doors in the Canberra suburb of Deakin on February 2, 1965, under the patronage of His Royal Highness Prince Philip, representing a significant step toward monetary independence from Britain where Australian coins had traditionally been struck. For the inaugural year of 1966, the Mint faced unprecedented demand and logistical challenges that necessitated a partnership with the Royal Mint in London, resulting in a unique numismatic circumstance where the same coin design was produced at 2 different facilities on opposite sides of the world. The London facility struck 30 million 10-cent coins while the Canberra Mint produced approximately 11 million, creating a fascinating variety that collectors continue to seek today. The distinction between these two productions lies in the subtle yet discernible difference in the lyrebird's tail plumage, specifically the number of spikes visible on the left side of the bird's magnificent display feathers, with London-struck coins exhibiting 5 spikes and Canberra-struck examples showing 4 spikes, a variation that occurred due to differences in die preparation and engraving techniques between the two mints. The artistic vision behind the 10-cent coin's reverse design came from Stuart Devlin, a young and remarkably talented designer who would eventually become the Queen's official goldsmith and one of Australia's most celebrated artisans, whose work on the entire family of decimal coins established a visual identity that has endured for nearly 6 decades. Devlin's initial concepts, which featured industrial motifs and manufacturing imagery, were rejected by the selection committee, prompting him to pivot toward a celebration of Australia's unique native fauna, believing that distinctive animals would resonate more deeply with the public and provide international visitors with an immediate sense of the continent's natural heritage. The male superb lyrebird, scientifically known as Menura novahollandii, was chosen for the 10-cent denomination, a magnificent creature endemic to southeastern Australia and renowned throughout the world for its extraordinary ability to perfectly mimic the calls of other bird species as well as artificial sounds such as camera shutters, car alarms, and chainsaws. Devlin's sculptural interpretation captured the bird in its most spectacular display posture, with tail feathers arched forward over its head in a magnificent fan, and his meticulous attention to detail extended to the placement of his initials SD in tiny letters near the bird's right foot, a signature that appears on every 10-cent coin struck since 1966. The obverse of the 1966 10-cent coin features the second official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Arnold Mackin, depicting the monarch facing right and wearing the famous Girls of Great Britain and Ireland diamond tiara, an image that would remain in circulation until 1985 when it was replaced by Raphael Makhlouf's third portrait. Mackin's elegant effigy established a dignified presence that satisfied the Currency Act 1965 requirement that all Australian coins bear the image of the reigning monarch, while simultaneously providing a consistent visual anchor across the entire decimal coinage system. The inscription Elizabeth II Australia 1966 encircles the portrait, establishing the coin's identity and origin with clarity and authority. The copper-nickel alloy composition, consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, was selected for its durability, resistance to corrosion, and attractive silvery appearance, while the coin specifications of 5.66 grams in weight and 23.6 millimeters in diameter were deliberately matched to the pre-decimal shilling to facilitate the transitional period when both currencies would circulate simultaneously. The educational campaign surrounding the decimal conversion was unprecedented in Australian history, featuring an animated character named Dollar Bill who sang a catchy jingle to the tune of the traditional bush ballad Click Go the Shears, helping to familiarize millions of Australians with the new currency before it entered circulation. The government distributed conversion charts, held community information sessions, and worked closely with banks and businesses to ensure a smooth transition, while the Decimal Currency Board oversaw the massive logistical operation of converting every bank account balance, wage payment, and price tag across the entire nation. The 10-cent coin, being equivalent in value to the former shilling, played a crucial role in this transition, providing a familiar reference point for citizens accustomed to the old system while introducing them to the simplicity of decimal calculations. Prime Minister Harold Holt described the new coin designs as a family of Australian motifs that would create lasting impressions of the nation's unique character among international visitors and collectors worldwide. For numismatists and coin collectors, the 1966 10-cent coin holds particular significance as the inaugural issue of a denomination that has remained in continuous production for nearly 60 years, with the lyrebird design persisting unchanged through multiple monarch portraits and economic eras. The coin exists in several collectible formats beyond the standard circulation strikes, including brilliant uncirculated specimens packaged in blue vinyl wallets and presentation sets, as well as proof examples struck with specially polished dies and planchets to achieve mirror-like surfaces and exceptional detail definition. The proof sets, produced in limited quantities of approximately 18,000 pieces, represent the pinnacle of minting craftsmanship for this inaugural year and command substantial premiums in the collector market. Additionally, the Royal Australian Mint created special VIP presentation wallets containing pristine examples of the 1966 coinage for dignitaries and government officials, making these among the most elusive and desirable specimens for serious collectors seeking complete representations of the decimal transition. The condition of a 1966 10-cent coin significantly impacts its value in the collector marketplace, with circulated examples typically trading at or near face value due to the substantial mintage figures and the durability of the copper-nickel alloy which allowed many coins to survive decades of handling. Uncirculated specimens, particularly those displaying full mint luster and no visible contact marks, can command prices ranging from $5 to $50 depending on the sharpness of strike and eye appeal, while gem-quality examples graded MS65 or higher by professional services may realize even stronger prices at auction. The distinction between London and Canberra mintages adds another layer of interest for variety specialists, with both types being readily obtainable in circulated grades but showing different population distributions in higher uncirculated conditions. Error coins from 1966, including rotated dies, partial collar strikes, and die cracks or CUDs, chip die defects, occasionally surface in collections and can generate significant premiums due to their scarcity and the fascination collectors hold for minting anomalies. The enduring legacy of the 1966 10-cent coin continues to resonate in contemporary Australia, where the lyrebird design remains in circulation alongside more recent commemorative issues, including a special 2016 release celebrating the 50th anniversary of decimal currency that featured a modified obverse design by G.K. Gray. The Royal Australian Mint has produced more than 15 billion circulating coins since its establishment, with the 10-cent denomination remaining a staple of daily commerce despite predictions of declining cash usage in an increasingly digital economy. Former Mint CEO Ross McDermott has suggested that the 5-cent and 10-cent pieces may face a graceful death within the coming decade as contactless payments and electronic transactions continue to replace physical currency, making the accumulation and preservation of these coins increasingly relevant for future generations seeking tangible connections to Australia's monetary heritage. The 1966 10-cent coin, whether held in a collector's album, preserved in a proof set, or still circulating in pocket change, stands as a lasting testament to a pivotal moment in Australian history when the nation embraced modernization while celebrating the unique natural wonders that distinguish the continent from all others on Earth. Keep a close eye on your change because that hidden treasure might be sitting right in your pocket. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a big find. Stay tuned, because in the next video, we're diving into another legendary coin that could be worth a small fortune. Next up. The 1989 Australian 10-cent coin represents a significant chapter in the nation's decimal currency history, struck during a period of renewed production following the unusual gap years of 1986 and 1987 when no circulation 10-cent coins were produced at all. With a substantial mintage of approximately 43,500,000 pieces struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, this coin emerged as a workhorse denomination that would facilitate countless transactions across the Australian economy throughout the late 1980s and beyond. The coin features the third official portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Raphael David Makhlouf, which had been introduced in 1985 to replace Arnold Machin's second portrait that had graced Australian coins since 1966. Makhlouf's elegant depiction shows the monarch facing right, crowned with the royal diadem she wore for state opening of Parliament ceremonies, adorned with a pearl necklace and earrings, with the designer's initials RDM encompassed in tiny letters on the neck truncation. The inscription Elizabeth II Australia 1989 encircles this regal effigy, establishing both the coin's authority and its specific year of issue within the continuous decimal series. The reverse design of the 1989 10-cent coin maintains the iconic lyrebird motif created by Stuart Devlin in 1966, a design that has remained unchanged on standard circulation issues for nearly 6 decades and has become one of the most recognizable symbols in Australian numismatics. Devlin's artistic interpretation captures the male superb lyrebird in its magnificent display posture, with tail plumes arched forward over its head in an elaborate fan that showcases the bird's extraordinary beauty and its renowned ability to mimic sounds in the Australian bush. The denomination numeral 10 appears prominently above the lyrebird's head, while Devlin's initials SD are discreetly placed in very small letters in the right field beside the bird's foot, a signature that authenticates the design's origin. The coin's specifications remain consistent with the decimal standard established in 1966, a copper-nickel alloy composition of 75% copper and 25 nickel, a weight of 5.66 grams, a diameter of 23.6 millimeters, and a reeded edge that provides both durability and tactile distinction from other denominations. These technical specifications ensure that the 1989 10-cent coin maintains compatibility with vending machines, parking meters, and cash handling equipment throughout its circulation life. For collectors and numismatists, the 1989 10-cent coin occupies an interesting position within the broader decimal series, representing a return to normal production levels after the constrained mintages of the mid-1980s and the complete absence of circulation strikes in 1986 and 1987. The coin's substantial mintage classifies it as common within the standard catalog references, meaning that circulated examples typically trade at or very near face value due to the large number of pieces available and the durability of the copper-nickel alloy, which allows coins to survive decades of handling with minimal degradation. Uncirculated specimens, particularly those carefully preserved from mint sets or rolls, command modest premiums ranging from approximately $5 to $50 depending on the quality of strike, the presence of full mint luster, and the absence of contact marks or blemishes that might detract from the coin's eye appeal. The Royal Australian Mint also produced proof versions of the 1989 10-cent coin with a reported mintage of 67,000 pieces, struck using specially prepared dies and polished planchets to achieve mirror-like fields and sharp frosted devices that represent the pinnacle of minting craftsmanship for collectors seeking superior quality examples. The market value of a 1989 10-cent coin varies considerably based on its condition and method of preservation, with professional grading services providing standardized assessments that help establish fair market prices for collectors seeking specific quality levels. Circulated examples showing moderate wear from commercial use generally retain only their face value of 10 cents, as the abundance of available specimens precludes any significant premium for worn pieces unless they exhibit unusual characteristics or errors. Uncirculated coins displaying full original mint luster and no visible handling marks can realize prices in the $5 to $25 range, while gem-quality specimens graded MS65 or higher by recognized services such as PCGS or NGC may command $50 or more at auction depending on market demand and the specific attributes of the individual piece. Proof coins from 1989, distinguished by their mirror-like surfaces and sharp detail definition, typically trade between $15 and $200 based on the depth of cameo contrast and the overall preservation of the original surfaces, with perfect proof 70 examples representing the most desirable and valuable specimens for dedicated collectors. The 1989 10-cent coin serves as an accessible entry point for beginning collectors interested in Australian decimal coinage, offering an affordable option that demonstrates the consistency of design and manufacturing standards that have characterized the series since its inception. Unlike the scarce issues of 1985, 1991, or 2011 which command significant premiums due to their limited production numbers, the 1989 coin provides an opportunity to acquire a genuine piece of Australian monetary history without substantial financial investment. Collectors often seek this date to complete decade sets or comprehensive collections spanning the entire decimal period from 1966 to the present, appreciating the coin's role in documenting the continued evolution of Australian currency during the late 20th century. The enduring popularity of Stuart Devlin's lyrebird design ensures that the 1989 10-cent coin remains relevant and desirable among numismatists who value both the artistic merit of the reverse motif and the historical significance of the Makhlouf portrait that captures Queen Elizabeth II during the middle period of her remarkable reign. Next up, the 1983 Australian 10-cent coin features the second portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on its obverse, designed by British sculptor Arnold Machin. This effigy depicts the Queen facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, with the inscription Elizabeth II Australia 1983 encircling the bust. The Machin portrait was used on Australian coinage from 1966 through 1984, making the 1983 issue one of the final years to carry this particular design before it was replaced in 1985. The reverse of the coin showcases the iconic male superb lyrebird, Menura Nova Hollandi, a design created by renowned Australian artist Stuart Devlin that has remained unchanged since decimal currency was introduced in 1966. The lyrebird is depicted facing left with its magnificent tail plumes expanded forward over its head, while the denomination numeral 10 appears above the bird's head. Devlin's initials SD are subtly placed in the field beside the bird's right foot, marking his enduring contribution to Australia's decimal coinage. Struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, the 1983 10-cent coin had a substantial circulation mintage of 82,318,000 pieces, making it a relatively common date for collectors. Additionally, 80,000 proof specimens were produced for collectors, along with 155,700 brilliant uncirculated examples distributed in official mint sets. The coin measures 23.6 mm in diameter, weighs 5.66 grams, and is composed of a copper-nickel alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it the distinctive silvery appearance characteristic of Australian decimal coinage. The physical specifications of the 1983 10-cent coin include a milled, reeded, edge and metal alignment, meaning the obverse and reverse designs both appear upright when the coin is flipped horizontally. The coin's dimensions and weight were inherited from the pre-decimal shilling, maintaining continuity with Australia's earlier currency system. As legal tender, the 10-cent coin remains valid for payments up to 5, though its purchasing power has diminished significantly since 1983 due to inflation over the past 4 decades. For numismatists, the 1983 10-cent coin represents an accessible entry point into Australian decimal collecting, with circulated examples typically trading for modest premiums above face value. Uncirculated specimens command higher prices, generally ranging from 15 to 20 depending on condition, while proof examples from the annual sets are valued around 64. The coin's abundance means that while it lacks the scarcity of low mintage years like 1985, 2 million pieces, or 2011, 1.7 million pieces, it remains a staple in complete date collections of Australian decimal currency. Next up, the 1994 Australian 10-cent coin represents a significant year in the nation's decimal currency history, featuring the third portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by British sculptor Raphael Makhlouf. This effigy depicts the Queen facing right, wearing a circular diamond crown decorated with roses, shamrocks, and daffodils, with the inscription Elizabeth II Australia 1994 encircling the bust. The artist's initials RDM are in use on the neck truncation, marking this as one of the final years before the portrait was replaced in 1999. The Makhlouf design, introduced in 1985, brought a more mature and regal representation of the monarch compared to the earlier Machin portrait, and it remained in use until 1998, making the 1994 issue a quintessential example of this numismatic era. The reverse of the 1994 10-cent coin maintains the iconic design created by renowned Australian artist Stuart Devlin, featuring the male superb lyrebird, Menura Nova Hollandi, facing left with its magnificent tail plumes expanded forward over its head. The denomination numeral 10 appears prominently above the bird's head, while Devlin's initials SD are subtly placed in the field beside the lyrebird's right foot. This design has remained unchanged since the introduction of decimal currency in 1966, representing one of the most enduring and recognizable images in Australian numismatics. The lyrebird, native to the forests of southeastern Australia, was chosen for its unique ability to mimic natural and artificial sounds from its environment, symbolizing the diverse and distinctive voice of the Australian nation. Struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, the 1994 10-cent coin had a substantial circulation mintage of 43,730,000 pieces, making it a relatively common date for collectors compared to the rare low mintage years. Additionally, the Royal Australian Mint produced proof specimens and brilliant uncirculated examples for collectors, though exact figures for these numismatic issues in 1994 are less commonly documented than the circulation strikes. The coin measures 23.6 millimeters in diameter, weighs 5.65 grams, and is composed of a copper-nickel alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, maintaining the specifications established at the inception of decimal currency in 1966. The coin features a milled, reeded, edge and metal alignment, ensuring consistency with the broader Australian decimal coinage series. For numismatists and collectors, the 1994 10-cent coin holds particular interest as a transition piece within the broader context of 1990s Australian coinage. While the 43.7 million mintage figure places it firmly in the common category according to standard rarity scales, the coin represents an important period before the significant design changes of 1999. Uncirculated specimens from mint sets command modest premiums, typically ranging from 15 to 20 depending on condition, while proof examples graded by services like Anax can achieve grades of PR68 DCAM, Deep Cameo, or higher. The 1994 issue is frequently sought by date collectors completing runs of the Makhlouf portrait era, which spanned from 1985 through 1998 and represents a distinct chapter in Australia's numismatic heritage. The physical and metallurgical specifications of the 1994 10-cent coin reflect the Royal Australian Mint's commitment to consistency and durability in circulating coinage. The copper-nickel composition provides excellent resistance to wear and corrosion, ensuring that coins remain in circulation for decades. As legal tender, the 10-cent coin remains valid for payments up to 5, though its purchasing power has diminished significantly since 1994 due to inflation. The coin serves as a tangible connection to the mid-1990s period of Australian history, a time of economic growth and cultural development, while simultaneously representing the enduring legacy of Queen Elizabeth II's reign and the stability of Australia's decimal currency system that has now served the nation for nearly 6 decades. Next up, the 1999 Australian 10-cent coin marks a pivotal moment in the nation's numismatic history as the inaugural year of the fourth portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by British sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. This effigy represents a deliberate departure from the idealized representations of previous decades, presenting a more realistic and mature depiction of the monarch wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland diamond tiara, a wedding gift from Queen Mary in 1947. Rank Broadley's design philosophy centered on authenticity over flattery, capturing the Queen at approximately 70 years of age with what the artist described as poise and bearing. The portrait was specifically enlarged to maximize visibility on the increasingly smaller coinage of the era, with the artist's initials IRB appearing on the truncation of the Queen's shoulder, making the 1999 issue the first standard circulation coin to bear this distinctive new likeness. The reverse of the 1999 10-cent coin maintains the enduring lyrebird design by Stuart Devlin that has graced Australia's decimal currency since 1966. The male superb lyrebird, Menura nova hollandii, is depicted facing left with its spectacular tail plumes fanned forward in a display of natural grandeur, while the denomination 10 appears prominently above the bird's head. Devlin's initials SD remain subtly positioned beside the lyrebird's right foot, preserving the artistic continuity that has defined Australian decimal coinage for over 3 decades. This consistency in reverse design during a year of significant obverse transition makes the 1999 coin particularly noteworthy for collectors, representing a bridge between numismatic eras while honoring the natural heritage that has become synonymous with Australian currency. Struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, the 1999 10-cent coin had a substantial circulation mintage of 97.1 million pieces, making it one of the higher mintage years for the denomination and classifying it as common on standard rarity scales. This robust production figure reflects both the economic activity of the turn of the millennium and the need to replenish circulating currency with the new portrait design. The coin maintains the established specifications of 23.6 mm in diameter, 5.65 grams in weight, and a copper-nickel composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The milled edge and metal alignment remain consistent with the entire decimal series, ensuring that the 1999 issue fits seamlessly into cash handling systems while marking a clear visual departure from its predecessors. For collectors, the 1999 10-cent coin presents several points of interest beyond its role as the introduction of the Rank Broadly portrait. Notably, a variety exists featuring a large head obverse design, which commands a significant premium over standard examples. Recent sales indicate values around 2.20, or 22 times face value, for this distinctive variation. Additionally, the Royal Australian Mint issued the 1999 10-cent as part of the prestigious Masterpieces in Silver collection, featuring a sterling silver proof version with the reverse design of the legendary 1930 penny, limited to 15,000 pieces with an issue price of $125.00. These numismatic issues, alongside standard proof and uncirculated sets, provide collectors with multiple avenues to acquire this historically significant date in superior grades. The 1999 10-cent coin serves as a tangible artifact of Australia's transition into the new millennium, embodying both continuity and change within the nation's monetary system. As legal tender valid for payments up to 5, the coin continues to circulate widely, though its purchasing power has diminished significantly due to inflation over the past quarter century. For numismatists, the 1999 issue represents the beginning of a portrait era that would span from 1999 through 2015, with a brief interruption in 2016 for the decimal currency anniversary, making it a foundational piece for collections focused on modern Australian coinage. The coin's abundance ensures accessibility for beginning collectors, while the existence of varieties in silver commemorative issues provides depth for advanced numismatic study, cementing its place as a significant milestone in Australia's ongoing decimal currency narrative.